Hello everyone, this is Ruben, and this is the Dante Elephante podcast, episode 79 with Mild Orange. Dante Elephante is going on tour March 16th through April 2nd. The 16th will be in Portland, Oregon, Mississippi Studios. The 18th, March 18th, Seattle. We're doing So Far Sounds on the 19th, Bellingham, Washington, The Shakedown. 20th, Seattle, Washington, The Crocodile. The 22nd, Spokane, Lucky You Lounge. Boise, we're playing Treefort Fest. We're the first night kicking off Treefort Fest. Ketchum, Idaho, at Argos. Missoula, Montana, Zach Showroom. Butte, Montana, Covalite Lounge. The Salt Lake City, Utah, the Salt Lake City, Utah, Loading Dock. We're playing Chico, Argus, and then San Francisco at Milk Bar, Santa Ana, La Santa. Exciting times we live in. Sorry, this episode's a little late. Just, it was Valentine's Day yesterday. Valentine's Day. Last year, Jenny and I, we didn't really have a lot planned. We stayed in her car and ate a charcuterie board and then drove around and recorded an all audio podcast. That was last year's episode. Didn't do anything like that this year because, we live together now and we're just around each other all the time. I guess we could have recorded another podcast, but I don't know. Didn't. So yesterday we went out to dinner and it was fun. We got ice cream afterwards. Oh, the ice cream, I don't know, man. You think an ice cream sandwich sounds like a good idea until you fucking have to eat one and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. And then we're a little behind on Euphoria. I have been watching Euphoria. Love that show. That show is a mess. And I feel, oh boy, I'm glad I didn't do a lot of drugs growing up, or if any at all, really. But that show is amazing. We are a little far behind. So we finished 2 weeks ago's episode. And with that show, you can only really watch an episode at a time. Anything more than that, you're just like, oh, I can't do this. These kids are fucking crazy. And last week's episode, 2 weeks ago episode was really crazy. I'm going to try and convince Jenny to watch last Sunday's episode tonight. So hopefully I can finish working and we could just chill and watch Euphoria. Didn't get the chance to watch Euphoria on Sunday, but I did, the Super Bowl. I didn't really talk a lot about sports in the podcast here because I don't know how many people who listen to this give a shit. But, the Super Bowl did happen. It's a fucking holiday. I had people texting me in the morning like, good mornings, happy Super Bowl Sunday. It's literally a holiday. And it's probably my favorite holiday next to Christmas. It's just so fun. And this year was great. You had the Rams and you had the Bengals and you had two teams who I haven't seen this combination. You get so tired of the same teams going every year, at least in this era, because we were so used to Tom Brady going to the Super Bowl so often that we're just like, oh, fuck the Patriots, fuck Tom Brady. I'm so tired of seeing them every couple years or even back-to-back consecutive years, which when you look back, you'll be like, okay, that was cool that I got to witness that and that was really sweet. But in the moment, I'm like, I need a little bit more variety. I think that's what makes the Bengals the ultimate variety hour. I don't know. I loved it. I thought the show was eh. I thought the actual game was eh. I thought the halftime show was the best. Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick, Mary J. Blige, and then with the surprise guest 50 Cent. I thought that was the best, and I got emotional. I think I can say this on the podcast. I could be real and raw with you guys. I think I got emotional. I thought it was I don't know. It reminded me of all the music I grew up listening to, all the music that I loved growing up, and it was just yeah, I was like, they're doing it. They're killing it. And, of course, people, when you have to rank these Super Bowl games, these Super Bowl halftime shows, Prince, in my generation, Prince was a massive halftime show playing Purple Rain in the rain. People will remember that forever. I thought it was great. I think this one was up there. And then, an older generation says Michael Jackson, Didn't really get to watch the Michael Jackson one. I think that was 93. I think the first Super Bowl I ever watched was like 96, maybe 95, 96 when I was like 5 or 6. So, but the lights weren't really on. The lights were on, but I didn't really know what was happening in the game, but I remember watching it. So I don't know. I think this year really took the cake. And yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the Super Bowl. Like I said, we are going on tour. There are some dates not in that March run that I do need to announce and say. June 17th, I'm playing in Kansas City, Missouri at Boulevardia with Nathaniel Rateliff and Jenny Lewis. That's going to be a crazy, crazy show. And then the next day, we're flying out to Kansas City. We're playing a show, Kansas City, Missouri, Boulevardia. And then the very next day, we are traveling to Stratford, Connecticut, flying from Missouri to Connecticut for Road Jam Music Fest. So if you live in Stratford, Connecticut, come hang out. It's a festival. Come see all the other bands. And we're playing Road Jam Music Fest. And then we might have another show lined up, a couple shows lined up. I don't know. It's time to start writing, boys. It's time to start practicing and start getting these songs in order to, make another record. I think that's where I'm at right now is like, I think it's time. I think I toured, because of the pandemic, you didn't really get to tour Mid-Century Modern Romance. So I think now is the time to, play a couple shows and start working on the new stuff. I'm excited. We've been playing one new song live, and that's been really great. At first, I was like, "This is a new song," but now I've stopped saying that. I think it's better just to play new songs that no one notices, and versus like this is a new song, and then people act like, "Oh, what the fuck? What do you mean this is a new song?" And then people act all weird. But okay, so that's where I'm at. That's the timeline. People keep asking me, at least the team, the marketing and team, the people who have a vested interest in me right now have been asking like, when's the next record? What's going on? And I do not have a great answer. I have songs. I think I have like 9 songs right now. I'd like to write more and then trim, and then hopefully something happens soon. Just a matter of getting everyone in the same room together and working it out. Okay, Mild Orange is on the podcast. Mild Orange are a couple Kiwis. I can't really do a New Zealand accent. I can't even attempt a New Zealand accent. But Mild Orange is on the podcast. They're really great, really young, talented, young band. And there's some kids who are working really hard. And we talk about growing up in a college town, getting labeled as a college band. And just trying to make it, just trying to play shows, kind of the what it looked like from New Zealand looking into America. I know on this end it felt like, wow, it seems like New Zealand and Australia really got their shit together. And but I don't know, maybe the grass wasn't greener on the other side. Maybe that's why I learned on this. I don't know. I feel like I talked a lot in this. I don't know. I edited it kind of funny, but I hope you guys enjoy this week's episode. Rare Attractions is finally coming out on vinyl. Go ahead and pre-order. The link is in the bio. And I'm going to stop rambling because I'm just exhausted. And enjoy the episode. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys next week. Okay. All right, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, man.
Okay, wait, I was setting up. Why is someone being rude? What catch me up? What just happened?
We're looking at all the pictures scrolling on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Nothing exciting.
Yeah, what are you guys gonna watch?
Probably nothing. Oh, really? We might finish Notting Hill. We're watching Notting Hill last night. Getting in the London vibe.
Yeah, wait, so we're starting it off. Mild Orange, thanks for being on the podcast. Thanks for being here. You're in London. Why are we in London?
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're in London. We're playing a show in 2 nights at Jazz Cafe. It's our album release, our 3rd album release show, and it's sold out, which is cool. So,
That's awesome. Is this your first time in London?
Second. Yeah, we played here in 2019 as well. And that was a sellout as well. So starting to build up a nice wee fan base here in London, and excited to be back.
How I've never played London, I've never played New Zealand. Like these are all new places to me. So like, are the crowds different? Can you feel them different, or how's the energy compared to back home?
They're all Aussies and Kiwis, so it's pretty similar buzz.
Oh,
Sure.
For us, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be quite similar to home because there are so many expats here. Like lots of young Kiwis and Australians moved to London for an OE. So we found when we played here last time, it was like after having played 20 shows in Europe, coming back to London felt like playing to a home crowd because they're predominantly young people from our country, which was quite cool.
In case you don't know, Kiwi is a New Zealander.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. A lot of people think it's just the fruit, but we are Kiwis.
So you guys are what part of New Zealand are you guys all from?
We're all from different parts. So us three, me, Barry, and Jack are from the South Island. I'm from Arrowtown, Dunedin, and Westport, and then Jazz from the North Island. He's from Carterton. So we're all from like small towns.
How'd you all meet?
At university.
Oh, okay. So was this a college project, or was it after college, or
During.
Towards the end of our last couple of years at college, and then beyond that, obviously.
Yeah. So we all, it was another half years of, we call it university.
Right.
And then we released Foreplay, the first album, in our last year. And that was going pretty well. And then we all graduated, and we're all like, let's do the music thing because,
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just talking about this on a podcast yesterday. I did an interview yesterday, and I was just talking about like, there's nothing better than that feeling of just like first being out of college and all you have to do is play in a band. There's no like other, no one's married yet. No one has, unless you guys are married. I don't know if any of you are married, but like, okay, keep it that way. That's all I'm saying. It's just like, that's all you have to do is focus on the music, Wait, what? You're married?
No, Jack's got 3 kids.
No, I don't.
But my whole point is that there really is nothing better than just being able to focus on music 24/7 and like.
Totally. Yeah. We had that freedom and to kind of do whatever. And I mean, we still do. We've decided to move to the other side of the world now.
Yeah. Wait, where are you living now?
London. After the US tour, we're moving to London.
Oh, you're gonna stay here. Oh, when? Okay, all right. Now I'm catching up on everything. When's the US tour?
Starting next week in Brooklyn, February 16th in Brooklyn at Baby's All Right, and then we're going to Chicago, Oakland, Los Angeles, San Diego, and then Mexico City.
Where in LA are you playing?
The Roxy.
What day? The Roxy, and then what day?
24th.
Yeah.
The 24th of Feb. Okay, good. All right, well, we'll get this out and we will promote those dates. And how exciting! The 24th of February. I want to go. I want to go to this show.
Yeah, come along.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. The Roxy is funny. The Roxy was one of those places that has had like ups and downs, right? Like when I was growing up, the Roxy was like not cool, and you had to buy tickets. It was like one of those pay to play gigs, and then I think they just went through so many years of that. Then Golden Voice bought them and made them cool again, and now it's like a cool place to play. So it still like blows my mind when people tell me they're playing the Roxy. I have to like stop and be like, "Oh, that place?" But then I was like, "Oh wait, never mind. It's not the same anymore. It's like a legit venue again."
From what we've heard, like it's all the legends have gone through there.
Totally,
but the absolute legends. But what is pay to play? Because someone asked us if we were doing a pay to play the other day, and we didn't know what that meant.
You paid.
Yeah, it's quite literally is where you have to buy the tickets up front and then you sell them to your friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To make your money back. It was like a major scam in the U.S. and maybe some other places too. I don't really know, but it was like a major scam. Well, I considered it a scam for most of my childhood. Yeah, until I think it kind of fizzled out when I turned 18. But yeah, 2008-ish.
So it's not like the promoter backing the artist. It's like you just have to buy all the tickets.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like guaranteed to sell it. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I don't know. You become like the salesman, and you have to you're bugging all your friends to buy tickets, and they got their money, but now there's a chance that you might not make your money back. So it's like Doesn't make any sense, but it was a thing for a very long time. I'm glad we're like past it. Well, what's it like playing shows in New Zealand? What did you guys, so you guys didn't have anything like that growing up, but like was there house parties at the uni or what was it?
We promote our shows in New Zealand. We have been.
Yeah.
Like we've been putting on our own shows and since the start. But yeah, we started off playing like gigs at university, like pubs. Like flat parties and pubs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All pretty casual stuff.
What were those shows like? Tell me about those shows.
Pretty fun and sloppy.
Yeah.
Pretty noisy.
Yeah.
Is it where the bar just gives you a pitcher after pitcher and they're like, here, keep playing, just keep playing, or what was the energy like?
Pretty much, yeah. Like one of the most famous, the city we all went to university at is sort of like New Zealand's most famous music city. So there's some really cool venues there. One in particular on the university campus that every Wednesday there'd be bands playing and people would come along no matter what. It was called Pint Night, and you just get really cheap beers. There's normally pretty good live music.
So you even get paid for them, or you just get paid?
I don't know if you did get paid.
We got paid the first one.
Yeah.
That was
paid in beers,
but then we like since the start we've been putting on our own gigs. Like we did that the necessary gig, remember? And that like we got this venue. It would have been like 150 cap, and and then we didn't sell any tickets for the night. We just put up posters like all over the city, and then everyone had to buy tickets on the door, and it sold out like fast. And there was this like 20 minutes, and there was this like queue out the door. And we had like tasked ourselves with running. We were running the door, running security. We were running like the back and forth for the band's opening. And then it got to us playing, and like the cops had already come. Like someone's throwing stuff off the roof, like, and then we hadn't even played yet. And it got up to like our time of the set, and we were so flustered.
Yeah,
it was so intense.
I think they never operated again after that.
They got evicted.
No.
Because it was like a massage parlor and like yoga place, and then they like were keen to have us for the gig, and then the cops came and all just got out of control. It was a fun ass gig though, like but I went around the next day with a peace lily and shit, and they were very very nice about it.
They're like, you fucking college kids, man, ruining the city. I feel like that was like, because my band, we started off in the UCSB, which is a notorious party school in America, and it was very much the same thing. Like anywhere we played, our college friends would come, and then they'd get rowdy, and then we just got labeled this like college band that like started trouble all the time. And have you guys noticed any of that kind of, at least back home for a little while, of just like, oh, maybe people aren't taking us serious because we're this party band, but we actually are a serious and good band, like, but we can't shake this image. Was there that moment before things got crazier?
I think
there's definitely a label of like a university band.
Definitely.
For a while.
And I think we've shared that now.
We've had to,
of course,
but yeah.
I wouldn't say ever as a party band.
We've never had like a bad reputation for causing
I guess
shit
our
or anything.
music doesn't really need that anyway, but
yeah.
There's been that kind of like university student bands label that's been
right.
We're not that anymore, but it was a thing for a while that we had to kind of shake.
Yeah, kind of being labelled that as though it's a genre that we're like
totally.
And it's like that's just young people being in a band.
That happens here too. Like people just like labeled you like, oh yeah, you guys are just that band from UCSB, and that's all you guys were, and you couldn't be taken serious, or you wouldn't be able to make. I don't know. It was just silly. It was so silly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you shake that by doing stuff that wasn't that. So
totally.
We've had plenty of living since then. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
The other thing was that a lot of people still think that we are a Dunedin band. That's the town that we formed in at university, but only Barry is from there. The rest of us are all from over New Zealand. Yeah.
That also happens when you're from like a small town and then you get labeled as that small town or whatever that happened. Yeah, I'm in Santa Barbara, which is a pretty small town, like, and I guess we're like an hour north of Los Angeles, but like, we get labeled for all that stuff too. It's like wine country. There's all this wine and like there's like weed here, and it's just really weird. And you get these weird labels thrown on you from the outside.
you're a wine country band.
Yeah. Yeah. They think you're like, you know, a band that plays for 3 hours and you get like a couple $100 at the wine gig. And you know, it's like, no, I promise I'm doing something different. Like, but like, yeah, sometimes it's hard to shake that, you know?
Yeah.
So have you toured the United States before?
No.
Nope.
Oh, this is the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We played in Mexico City once before. We played at a festival there.
How was Mexico City?
It was amazing. We played there in 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of 2019.
Yeah.
At Radio Bosque Festival.
Cool.
It was cool. There, who else was there? Underworld.
Hot
Chip was cool.
Did you get Did you get to try the food? Did you eat any Mexican food while you were there?
I hate
so much. We went there for 2 weeks, even though we were only playing one show, just because we wanted to enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's a scene. Is there Mexican food in New Zealand? Are there places are there restaurants?
Yeah. No, there's definitely lots of Mexican food, but it's certainly not as good as Mexico or in like California. You guys have amazing Mexican food. So.
Right. And so you spent 2 weeks in Mexico City and you played and you got to experience the culture. Now you're going to come to America. What have you heard about America? Have you ever been to America, like aside from being in a band? Have you seen it already? What are you excited for? What cities are you excited for?
We've been here a few times. Like if you look at our video for the song One, we filmed it in New York City. And then we've got connections in LA.
Spent a bit of time in LA and New York.
Yeah, my girlfriend's actually American.
Cool.
Yeah. We've actually been to the States a few times, so yeah, we love it there. So being able to finally play there is mega exciting for us. Like, because our largest listenership by like a long mile is the USA. So
that's awesome.
Got a lot of fans who have been wanting us to come out for ages. So
oh man, yeah. It seems like things are kind of rolling in 2019 for you guys, and then obviously the pandemic hit and it affected all of us. But like, what was that like? You know, because it seemed like things were rolling, and then 2020 hits. What'd you guys do? How'd you figure it out? Like,
it was actually all good for us, kind of, because like very luckily in New Zealand where we had minimal lockdowns and we were able to keep playing shows when the rest of the world couldn't. So in 2020 and 2021, we were playing shows. Like in 2020, we played a couple headline shows to like 1,000 people. And yeah, it was all just like quite normal. Yeah. And we were able to use that time that we would have gone touring overseas to create this third album. So
it was kind of anticlimactic for us though, after having had that 2019 was our first year out of college, and we were so lucky that we were able to spend like a third of that year abroad playing throughout Europe, spend a bit of time in the States and obviously in Mexico. So I think we kind of assumed that at that point we thought, 2020 and 2021 was would repeat that process of spending time in New Zealand, writing and recording an album, putting it out, and then going and touring it. But having that taken away kind of sucked. So we're really excited to be able to do it again this year.
What is the writing process? Who's writing most of the songs? Is it all of you, or does someone come up with it and then bring it to the rest of the group? Or
often it will be Mert will come with a written song or like loosely written song, and we'll add in our parts to that. That would happen most of the time, but also we will go away for like writing retreats and jam songs, and they come out in a more kind of spontaneous way that will happen, which is also cool. So yeah, there's no kind of like cookie cutter way of things happening. It just it happens differently for each song.
Everyone brings ideas and flavors to what you're hearing, and what you're hearing is everyone doing their own thing.
That's awesome. Can we hear about these writing retreats? That's always something I've wanted. Do you guys go somewhere? Do you guys rent like a house or something?
Yeah, like we'll have we'll go to a holiday house or a beach house and convert it into a recording studio for a couple of weeks. So we'll spend time living there and enjoying the place, and then being totally immersed and influenced by the space. And so a lot of like looking for space kind of references to all these different spaces in New Zealand that we recorded in.
Oh man, well, when was the first? Who had the idea of doing that? Because that always like has been a dream of mine, but I've never been able to actually like coordinate it, and everyone have time. Like
probably kicked off with Jar because on the second album, him or his parents kindly offered to us to turn his beach house, like holiday home, into a studio for like we had it for like 2 months.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And so that like most of the second, pretty much like 80-90% of the second album's been recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that worked out so well that we just kept on going with that sort of process. And we're fortunate enough that so far we haven't had to go higher places, but we've had like family connections and friend connections to be able to go and use other spaces. We've used Barry's family home in a part of New Zealand called Bannockburn. We've used Jack's place in Westport. We've been to Mert's place in Arrowtown. So kind of like an opportunity for us to see different parts of the country and immerse ourselves in a new environment and see how that influences the music as well.
Part of the reason too is we all live in different cities and have been, so it's easier for us to come together in like a place that we're all excited to go instead of all like crashing at one person's house.
Totally. How far away is each city? Are you guys like driving distance or?
Yeah.
Most,
driving, but like can be pretty long drives. Like
right.
It's like a 14-hour drive from us. Yeah. So it's not really
that's such a long drive. Is as a
people would consider that driving distance.
Yeah, that's too much. That's too much.
New Zealand has a pretty warped sense of driving distance because
it's windy.
Yeah.
It's a tiny country, but you're not driving like A to B. It's not straight roads. Like New Zealand roads are way different to elsewhere. They're really like heaps of corners.
The country's so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we do a lot of driving. Yeah.
You'll see. Yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say you'll see like in America that's like when you're on the East Coast, you're like, wow, everything's so close to each other, and then you get to like California, you're like, wow, this might be the biggest state ever, and then Texas is just like nothing. It's like you'll see it's just like there's just nothing in the middle of America, just like empty. Oh
no, we're keen to go to the flyover states, like drive through them.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's a weird place, but if you ever do end up driving through the United States, it's just like you see some weird stuff along the way. Any gas station you stop off and you're like, where the hell are we? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm keen for that.
I'm about to spend a month in Wisconsin, I think.
Oh yeah. When?
In March.
Okay, I wonder. Yeah, it will still be freezing.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's a crazy place. They have like a lot of cheese, and I tell you what, the cheese hits different there. It's like you wouldn't believe it. Like you eat those cheese curds or you eat like pizza or something. Wow, this cheese is like fresh. I don't know. It's just lighter than like other cheese. It's like when you go to Idaho and you get potatoes. The potatoes just hit different. Like it's just generations of people who know how to cook it and make it. It's it's great. What's the New Zealand thing? What's the New Zealand food like?
Pies.
Yeah, mince pie. Like meat pie.
Yeah, we have meat pies, not fruit pies.
Meat pies.
Yeah, like a hot meat pie.
They're like this big. They're like handheld. So there's like single, and you get them like every petrol station or like every dairy and. It's like a little lunch snack, or even in the morning.
Smoko, 10 o'clock smoko.
And
it's like New Zealand's cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Or a hot dog, maybe.
Yeah. I don't even know what American food is. It's just like borrowed from everywhere.
What else we have? Right, in terms of ingredients, lamb's probably our most common, like our most famous export. New Zealand lamb's meant to be like the best lamb in the world.
It does hit different.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh no! Actually, our chocolate, Whitaker's chocolate, is the best.
Yeah, Whitaker's.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And our coffee. Our coffee is also the best.
Everything is. We're moving back now.
Reconsider the move here.
Yeah.
I know London has what's that London that like English breakfast of like beans and like tomatoes. Like it gets roasted on the internet. Like people make fun of it on the internet, but like
we eat that at home too, though, because
not about that though.
Yeah,
looks gross. Yeah,
it looks. It doesn't look good, but like I do want to try it one of these days.
Yeah, I think it tastes alright. It looks worse than it is.
It's big bricky.
Yeah, just makes you. You normally eat that sort of thing when you're like hungover, and I feel like it's only going to make you feel worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just need like solid food. Okay, so then you guys wrote. You wrote during the pandemic. When did you start recording this new record?
While writing. So.
While writing. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's intertwined. So yeah, the first place we recorded and writing was at Barry's place in Bannockburn. And so we turned the lounge into a recording studio, and that's where like What's Your Fire and Aurora were recorded. Yeah, and they were, I mean, the first tracks coming out were these big, like, epic songs that, like, when we were to return to playing live again, that, you know, we could have these huge, cool moments. And probably a lot of energy built up inside of us that we just needed to release, and that came out in the songs.
Cabin fever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that also part of the process, thinking like, oh, how are we going to transform this into the live stage? Or is that you're already thinking about the live performance when you're writing?
A little bit. Like what you hear on the record, we can play it live.
Yeah.
We're pretty damn tight live. And like you're never going to hear backing tracks or anything. Like everything you hear, we can do. You know, it's real. But yeah, like our fans in New Zealand actually influenced us a bit on the album, because we road test some of the songs live. Like we're not afraid to play them before they're released, because it actually influences how we will record them, like, and helps us figure out moments that we need to like capture the energy.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I think there's always different stages, like having that stage of like the little nugget of like, this is the song, and then you play it live and then it changes, and then you hit the studio and then it changes again. Like, I think it needs to have that time to like mature before you just record something and then you're like, oh shit, we actually do this better live, but we didn't track it that way. And
and then they're like living songs.
Yeah, totally. So you produce it yourself. Have you guys ever worked with another producer, or have you guys just done everything yourself so far?
Mert's always produced for us. We had a bit of help on this one with a guy called Paddy Hill, who is like the studio manager of New Zealand's kind of premier recording studio, and that was on this album. We recorded a couple of tracks in there, and that was kind of our first time really working in a proper studio environment. And he helped Mert on a few of the mixes and with a little bit of production here and there.
He really helped get the sound bigger, because it was all because I just used like the stock plugins on Ableton. Right. For the first two albums, I mixed them totally stock plugins on Ableton, just like with my finger on the trackpad. And then, but you know, the project got too big to really be controlled in that within those parameters. So with the Roundhead Studio and then Paddy's like tech wizardry, we were able to get this bigger sound with more texture. And then, you know, we'd run the mixes that I'd done on some of the songs. Like we'd just run a finished mix through the Neve desk and Roundhead. The Neve desk used to be owned by The Who. It was their actual desk. And then there's this 1970s tape machine that they used on Rumours, Fleetwood Mac. It's the same one, and it gives it this like beautiful texture running songs through there. Really
so that's like something that's like, you know, those are those cool little moments that it's like, oh, I couldn't have done that I couldn't have done that on my own.
Yeah,
like,
totally. Just really understanding how much you can get out of these things and how much they do help. Like the real compressors, I don't think you can replace that in a box on your computer that you just download. More factors at play and so much randomness down to like it being real, you know?
Like what was that plugin? And it was like in the basement.
Oh,
that was crazy. I was like, I just did not understand it or comprehend.
You mean the reverb?
Yeah.
Like, the proper big reverb tanks.
Yeah.
They had a proper plate reverb.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, and there's like ginormous plates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you run the signal out and it hits the plate and it actually
that was
wobbles on the plate.
Oh my God. So did you use that? You used that on the record?
Yeah.
And you can tell it does, and you can really tell the difference. Like, oh my god, this is the real deal.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, like sometimes you do make the call as well to be like, oh, the digital actually sounds cooler. Like, like What's Your Fire? We did actually run the master through the Neve desk, but I thought it actually sounded better digitally, and so we went with that.
Oh, that's cool.
But then on some of them, they're like proper tape. Like Photographics was recorded mostly to tape, like live.
Yeah, it was live. Yeah.
Was that a new experience recording to tape? Have you guys done that?
Yeah, because you're like you can't mess up.
But it was a cool experience. Yeah. It's like kind of romantic, sort of thought. A lot of albums that we would have all grown up listening to are all recorded to tape, and a lot of purists would still say, like that's how it should be done. So it's kind of cool just to see how it's done like that. And it definitely adds a special flavor to it.
And did you all play live together with the tape, or was it? Oh, really? Yeah, that's the purest traditional way, I guess.
Yeah. So it's cool to tap onto that.
I'm pretty sure it was like old tape as well, and you can kind of hear like signals out of it.
Yeah.
Past recording.
It was like super reused tape.
Yeah.
Many times.
The most saturated. Yes. I get it. Yeah, that's great. I keep saying these in these episodes, but I feel like, being in the studio is like, it's like when you're in the shower and you have ideas in the shower. It's because, you're not, it's like the only time in your life you don't have a fucking phone in front of you or like a device. So you can finally think. And I think being in the studio is one of the few times it's like being on the stage or being in the studio where you're the most present. And like no one's distracted. You guys are all locked in doing your part. Like everyone's there for the same reason. And I think that alone makes recording like one of the best experiences of being in a band, because I used to just love the live performing. I thought live performing is the best. Like that's my favorite part. And then I don't know, over the years I've been falling in love with the studio. Do you guys have a preference of which one? Do you prefer live performing or the studio, or have you? I don't know.
I think both have their own.
They're so different.
Yeah, their own benefits.
I mean, live's certainly pretty special. Being able to.
It's quite intense.
Yeah.
I would.
A bit of euphoria.
I'd rather a shit day in the studio than a shit day on stage, though.
True.
Yeah. The way to put it.
I'd also rather.
I'd probably rather a great day on stage than a great day in the studio.
Yeah.
I guess because everything in the studio is kind of like fixable. Live, it's good. It's live.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It broke up, but you're back.
Oh, sorry. One thing that's drawn us to doing the home recording thing is that we have as much time as we like, and there's no pressure, and we can just kind of do our own thing. And then so I think we've gotten the most out of being in recording studios when we know what we're doing, and like we've actually got quite an idea instead of just like going in there and kind of just like hoping something's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's better, especially with tape, and especially with, I don't know, the hourly rates or the, full day rates. Like you have to kind of know what you're doing, because it gets so expensive. Like
exactly. Yeah, it would be nice one day to be in a studio environment where you can kind of just go with the flow and just be creating. But at the moment that's just a little bit pricey. I watched the Beatles Get Back. I don't know if you guys watched that documentary on Disney Plus, but like I was just like watching them work. I was like, wow, they really just had all the time and money in the world to just like dick around for like 150 hours, whatever they had audio wise of them like messing around. I was like, wow.
Yeah. George Harrison didn't even show up for like 4 days or something.
Imagine just like someone just not showing up for like 4 days, and it's just like, I don't know. It's man.
The most intense part I thought was that they're always filmed and there's always people there like watching them try to create. It's so hard to get stuff out of you while you've got people watching you like that.
Yeah.
True. But they say pressure makes a diamond, right? So like I think if you do apply a little pressure to yourself, I've been trying to do that because I just found it was like, in the pandemic, I really couldn't write, and there was nothing to write about. But like now that things are kind of getting back to normal over here, I've been trying to like put more pressure on myself, or like just not pressure, but like a timeline. I'd like to get this done by this point. I feel like that's been helping me a lot of just being like, okay, I need to do these things. And because before it was like, well, I got all the time in the world. We're locked down. I'm not doing anything. So I just like, had all these things I told myself I was going to do, but I didn't do them. But now things are kind of getting back to, I don't know.
Like a discipline.
A little bit of discipline. Yeah. I think that's why I learned. And that's why I took most out of the pandemic, was just trying to discipline myself and get a set schedule, because here it was like full lockdown. Like we didn't do anything for months, like over years. I guess we're going on our 3rd year, but like, yeah, it's been a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from here, we just see what's going on in Australia and New Zealand, and we're just like jealous. We're just like, why can't we be like that? Why can't we just like move on from this? You know, I don't know. Yeah. What's been the opposite view? How's it looked from over there looking into?
We did experience like a very great 2 years where largely we've been unstopped with to be able to do shows, but that's only been in New Zealand, and we haven't been able to leave.
Yeah, we're pretty trapped.
The borders are shut. So yeah, but like now you can't play shows in New Zealand currently.
Oh really?
For a while, yeah, because it's like a red alert rating. So yeah, like up until about 3 weeks ago, we were able to play a show, but and we had to cancel a bunch in like December, October, November. But yeah, but now in the States, it's you can do shows.
Yeah,
right?
we're doing shows. Festivals are happening. Yeah, most stuff is happening. Like, but does it mean people are coming to shows? People are still kind of weird about going out. So, but things are happening.
Yeah. It's been interesting in New Zealand. Like, yeah, we had it really good, but it was sort of one-way entry into our country. You couldn't leave, which made us feel a little bit probably trapped, because we didn't come out and tour. Like, for the first part, that was obviously fine because no one was playing, but once we saw the rest of the world start to open up and play shows again, it made us really want to be able to get out and do the same.
Right.
So currently we can't go back. It's not for another.
Oh yeah, you can't go back now. Even with the negative, if you guys all tested negative, you couldn't get in. Oh, wow. That's wild. It's a wild time out there, man. It really is a wild time. And I'm done making guesses on what I think is about to happen, but I think we're on the way out. I'm gonna do it anyways. I think we're almost done. I'm very excited. It's the only way I can keep myself going.
Here in London, it feels pretty normal. Like you don't see anyone wearing masks. It all feels.
People are giving us funny looks for wearing masks. Usually it's the other way around about half a year ago.
Yeah.
I think we're ending the masks like next week in California.
True.
That's what I heard. That's what they said. I don't know. I'm still gonna wear it though because I'm paranoid. But yeah.
Yeah, we're still wearing ours. We just want to stay for the tour. Yeah.
Totally. What? Yeah. So moving from New Zealand to London, like, what's that process like? What about your gear, your belongings? Like, are you shipping that? Like, how does? Yeah. Or did you sell a lot of it? Like
a little bit, but so luckily one of our friends has just got a job here, and they gave him a really big shipping allowance. They gave him like 400 kgs of shipping, and we were moving at the same time.
We're like, so let us use it.
Yeah, we sent the studio with him. So like spare guitars and
mics,
all the mics and stuff. So it's all living here now, so we can do our thing here. And then we all moved with like our tour gear and packed a suitcase each and
instruments and about 3 kg of clothes.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Wow, that's wild, man.
Yeah. We had a studio in New Plymouth in New Zealand, and we sold all the stuff there pretty much.
Wow. What mics are, a lot of musicians listen to this podcast, and I know it's just mostly musicians who listen to this. So what are your favorite mics? What mics are you guys using right now to record your stuff? Or what kind of?
My favorite's the RE320.
Oh yeah.
EV.
Is that the big dog?
I found that. But yeah, I use it for vocals now.
What's the other one we're using? SE Electronics 440 or 4400 or something.
Oh yeah, that vocal one.
Yeah,
it's amazing for acoustics.
Yeah.
Oh really? For acoustics?
Guitars.
We also use like the classic SM57s a lot on guitars.
Yeah, like always on the guitars. It's SM57s pretty much, and then maybe just like a condenser. All the RE320's been going good on the guitars.
Yeah, and there's this other one.
It's good on bass as well.
What's the other one? It's either an electro voice. I think it's an electro voice like ND.
What is it? Yeah.
ND. It's like an ND 25 or 45 or something.
Yeah.
And that's nice as well.
What about drums? Drums seems to be the hardest part of like trying to record yourself. Like, do you have any tips for recording drums?
What are those overheads though?
I don't know. I was just kind of set them up pointing at it.
We kind of just wing it.
Yeah, that sound all good.
Trial and error, really.
Yeah, it's just trial and error, and then like hearing it back and like
way too many variables for it to happen the same time.
Because we're always in these different rooms, and it's like really unideal rooms often, like glass lounges with like a whole wall that's glass, and like it's all right.
Fine for guitars and vocals, but not drum rooms really.
On drums, it's normally like 7 mics, 2 overheads, 2 on the kick, 1 over, 1 under on the snare.
Maybe a room.
1 tom, 1 floor tom. Yeah,
more than 7.
Is that more than 7?
8 usually, 8 or 9.
8.
2 on the bass drum, like 1 on the beater side, and then 1 on the other side.
1 inside it.
Oh, yeah, 1 in it, and then 1 outside of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I sometimes actually at the kick itself, like where the thingy hammer sits.
Yeah.
The biggie hammer.
Or
That's what people are living for. People are living for the tips. Drums, I always hear from everyone and from my own experience that drums are just the hardest. It's just, I don't know.
Honestly, they are really hard, but I reckon you just got to trial and error. Honestly, there's no one right way. There's like a million ways to do it, and you can do a good mic even with just like literally 1 mic. You can do a basic drum take with just 1 overhead, or
Yeah.
Depends what you're looking for, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it sounds bad, it's usually my fault for not having the drums tuned. It's never the microphones in the wrong spot.
And I reckon as well, EQ and compression play a massive part in getting the drums sounding good.
That's probably a good point, though. It's like the same with guitars. There's no point recording it until you've already made it sound as good as it possibly can.
Yeah.
Like, get your tone right before and record, because there's only so much you can alter it, I guess. Like if you start with a good product, then it can only get better.
And watch out for phasing as well.
Why? Watch out. Why are we watching out for phasing?
It just like cancels out sound, and it sounds really dull, when you're out of phase. So even if you can always flip the audio if it is out of phase. You can do that pretty easy. Even if you've recorded it out of phase, you can still flip it.
Oh, hell
it's salvageable, but just watch out for that.
These are the tips. These are the tips people are looking for, man. I'm telling you. Another tip, people, I don't know, something like everyone plays a role on tour. Someone's driving, someone's in the back seat taking a nap, someone's passenger. What's everyone's role on tour? Does everyone have like, I like to be alone. I like just leave me. I'm reading in the back. Like, what's everyone's role?
These 2 are really epic cooks. John and Barry. They look after us in the feeding and logistics as well, like planning, how we're getting each place and where we're staying and advancing shows and stuff.
I'm pretty good at washing dishes.
Nick's also a really good photographer, so a lot of our best shots, unfortunately, probably make us look like a 3-piece band because he's behind the lens.
That's when our photographer Cam's not here.
Yeah, true.
I love driving any opportunity I can.
You drive a lot.
Yeah. I'd say we all have pretty multifaceted roles and are like all people that are pretty willing to get stuck in and would probably rather do a lot of those things ourselves than have like bring along a bunch of random crew to do it for us. Like, because that would just completely change the dynamic of like touring.
Yeah.
Like this is only our 2nd time going overseas, but again, we have like a friend joining us, and in the past, there he is over there asleep. And last time we toured Europe, we had 2 friends come along to try and make it just like quite a fun experience,
Yeah, they just drink the beers and
right, yeah.
They keep the tension of the band at the band.
And keep spirits high.
Yeah. That is kind of like a nice thing. Like I've always thought about like how can I hire my friends to like do merch? Like my close friends, the ones who can keep the spirits high, the ones who can remind you that like this is supposed to be fun. Because sometimes it's not fun, you know? What are we listening to in the van? What are podcasts, music? What are you guys listening to?
I don't think we ever listened to podcasts when we were all driving around Europe. I think it was music all the time.
Yeah, all sorts. Everyone gets to turn on the aux, pretty much.
Yeah.
And what is it? What are you putting on?
Oh, we all...
Like,
how about Neil Young, Harvest Moon album?
On Spotify.
Not on Spotify.
On YouTube.
yeah.
And some Joni Mitchell after that, I guess.
Yeah.
Who else took their... I think India Ari took her music off. Yeah, there's a few people who took their music off now.
Yeah, there's like the guy who's Bruce Springsteen's guitarist, I think, in the E Street Band.
Oh, yeah. Little Stevie.
Pulled out as well.
I'd probably rather listen to Joe Rogan than that.
I don't think any of the rest of us agree with him, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird time. My whole take on that whole thing has just been like, where were these protests when we were like trying to negotiate like money, like paying? Like, shouldn't this all be about the artists being paid more, not because of fucking Rogan? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I get the connection, but like artists have been like fighting with Spotify for like years now.
Yeah.
And none of this shit happened. Yeah. I don't know. What can you do? Spotify's a great tool. I like Spotify. I just think they need to, you know, dish out the cash.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, agreed.
Pretty hard to argue with that.
I know. Apple Music. I don't know anyone who really uses Apple Music. I don't know anyone who uses like Napster. Apparently Napster is the best one. It's like you get like $1 after like 300 plays or something. The only problem is no one's on it. Like,
yeah, sure. I've never even heard of it.
Oh yeah, Napster was like the original one. The original one that like, you know, started illegal downloading here in the United States, and it kind of fucked up the music industry and made everyone freak out because it was like the early 2000s where you could just like download stuff for free, and it was like no one really understood what the internet was yet. So yeah, it got famous for that reason.
Was LimeWire a thing in the States? Like,
oh yeah,
we used that heaps.
LimeWire.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. So many times you download a song and you're like, oh, this isn't Bob Marley. Like every reggae song was Bob Marley. Like like they're just all tagged and like labeled incorrectly.
They always had that Bill Clinton thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
speech. You download a song and it would just be Bill Clinton's speech.
It's probably just propaganda from the US government.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Okay, what else are we excited for? The record's coming out, the shows at the Roxy. What else is going on? What else is happening?
Yeah, the new album comes out in a couple of days. So pretty damn keen to share that. We've got another video coming out in just over a week as well. And it's like kind of one of the first ones where you see us more
In the video,
yeah, acting and being us.
Did you guys like acting and being in the video, like your faces in the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
I don't know.
I don't know if I could watch it.
I'm sure everyone feels like that when they first do it.
Yeah.
No,
But it's kind of like a long day. It's like waiting over to shoot. They're setting up scenes, like whatever the concept was. But like, I don't know, that kind of part of it can feel. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fun. I think we'll do more things like that.
It was a fun day out for sure.
Yeah.
I don't believe him. I don't believe you. I don't.
I just can't watch myself.
You're just cringing at yourself.
Yeah. Oh, that happened to me a lot when I first started this podcast. Like having to hear myself talk. It's one thing to hear yourself sing, which took me a while to get used to too when I was younger. But like, it's really hard to hear myself talk. I'm like, oh, like why did I do this? I don't know, but it's fun. But also, it's awful to hear when I have to edit this later.
There's something weird about hearing New Zealand accents on TV as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird.
We sound really weird. Like
when you hear yourself back, you're like, that sounds weird.
Because we're so used to hearing American and like British accents on TV.
Right.
Not so much from our own country. That when you hear it just sounds so weird.
Sticks out.
Do you have trouble understanding our accent at all?
Sometimes, yeah, but like I can figure it out, you know. I think I've watched enough Fly of the Conchords. I think I can handle myself.
Nice. Have you seen the TV show?
Yeah, that's on HBO. That's what we had over here. That was like, I think that and like Peter Jackson. That was like America's Taste of New Zealand was like Lord of the Rings and
throw some Lord in the mix.
And Django Fett.
Yeah.
What? Temuraro Nelson?
Tim Morrison.
Morrison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's New Zealand's best exports.
And Taika.
Yeah, and Taika Waititi.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah. That was like the last movie I saw in theaters was Jojo Rabbit.
And Sam Neill.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill's a Kiwi.
But he claims
Yeah,
Aussie,
now
though.
you're pulling up, it's kind of washed up.
Russell Crowe. Like
Russell Crowe.
But he claims Aussie.
Who else we got? Oh, Xena.
No, that's really washed up.
It's like literally 20 years ago. Nah, that's Lara Croft.
No.
Yeah, it's a name like that.
What? Lara Croft's Tomb Raider?
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
We'll claim it.
Yeah.
We'll claim the Digger. Yeah. No, I think it's only a matter of time people start throwing Mild Orange into that list.
Yeah,
It's
hope
only a matter of time.
What?
You guys
You mean like the washed up list?
No. It's just like you guys will be the greatest export from New Zealand in no time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can wrap it up. Thanks for talking with me. I hope this was fun, and hopefully I'll try and make it to the LA show. It'd be fun to hang.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Cheers to me, man.
Thank you.